Hey folks, this is Casey and I am One Mellow Marigold. Welcome to the kitchen. We're going to get busy and dehydrate potatoes today. And I'm really excited because I have wanted to try this since I moved to the farm and I got that fun little dehydrator. I watched lots of other YouTube videos, of course, on how to do it. So I feel like I kind of get the point. But the one thing I noticed in all those videos is everybody peels the potatoes first. So it's just like a plain mashed potato that you're mashing and then spreading out and dehydrating. And I just don't make mashed potatoes that way. I leave the peels on. And so I thought, I wonder if it's any different if you just leave the peels on and dehydrate the peels along with the mashed potatoes. So we're going to give it a try. I have got 2 bags of potatoes, 1 whole bag. We are going to peel and mash and dehydrate plain. And the other one, we are going to leave the skins on, but we're still going to mash, dehydrate with seasonings. And then once everything's dehydrated, of course, we're going to rehydrate them and do a little taste test and see if there's any difference. I'm going to do the peeled plain version first. So I got my bag of potatoes, I got my peeler, I got a little spot to do the work, and I have got my stock pot with a little cold water for helping to rinse them off. We've got them back in the pot. They are covered with about 1.5 inches of cold water. Got the lid on. We're going to bring it up to a low boil and let it go for 45 minutes. Potatoes are all done. They're nice and soft. If you want to double check, grab a fork and stick it on in. They look lovely and creamy, don't they? I have got my dehydrator rack and I have got a piece of parchment paper laid over the top. We're going to scoop the potato onto the parchment and spread it out as thin as we can and just move on to the next tray and the next tray until we have done all the potatoes. Just like that. We're all done. Easy, super peasy. So 1 bag of potatoes, plain, used up 7 trays. My dehydrator is the Excalibur 9 drawer. This was a housewarming gift when I moved to the farm. I am not that bougie, but I have to admit, I really do love it. Anyway, we're going to put this on at 125. We're going to let it go all night and we're going to check in the morning and see how it looks. It is done. Are you ready to see it? Okay, it looks really cool. Here we go. Look at this whole piece came off together off of one sheet of parchment. So these stayed in the dehydrator overnight. So about 12 hours altogether when I turned it off this morning. It's super crispy. They're really hard and firm. If you feel it soft, it needs more time. Put it back in. But this is really crispy. So I'm going to start by just breaking them down into larger chunks into a bowl until I get them all done. And then later we're going to put them into the food processor to crunch them down. If you look carefully, you can tell where larger chunks of potatoes didn't fully break down. And you can see little spots where the skin was too. These are really firm and crispy. Some powdery, some still flaky. I'm going to let it go just a minute more. I have got a quart jar and a funnel to help get everything in there nice. When we started this, would you have guessed that this whole bag of potatoes would have dehydrated down into half a quart jar? I would not have. Let's get ready for the next batch. This one's going to be a little bit easier because we're going to leave the skins on. So I'm going to give these a good rinse in the sink and then we'll get to cutting them and get them in the pot. Do all the same steps we did before. Before I go ahead and get these cut up and roll that beautiful bean footage, so it's just a reminder to make sure you stick around to the end for the taste test. It's the most important part. This long, It's time to taste test. This is the plain side. This is the one where we left the skin and the seasonings in, and you can see a huge difference. Partly, I didn't like crush these down into as much of a powder as I did the plain ones, but it's just a darker color. You know, the skins are in there. I have got some chicken stock out. Obviously, you can rehydrate with water, but if you have your own chicken stock, I mean, why not use it? Come on. And then we're going to put 2 tablespoons each in each bowl and rehydrate with the stock and see how it goes. I'm also doing just a little dollop of butter in each bowl. Then we're going to add our chicken broth. Start with about a half a cup. Ooh, it's actually constituting really quick. More quickly than I thought it would. I am going to throw a towel over both and we're going to let them sit for 5 minutes. They are reconstituting, but it seems a little dry, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. And let it sit for a few more minutes. Take 2. Oh, no! This looks awful. This looks awful. Hold on, we're gonna try it. This is not okay. So too much chicken stock, not powdery. This is gonna be like potato soup. Oh, it's not good. It's not good. This is the one with the skins, which I did taste, and it's awful. And then this was the one without, and I did taste, and it's also awful. We're gonna grind these down to a powder. See if that has to make a difference. That was embarrassing. It was embarrassing how awful that was. But I think it's gonna be a lot better. Oh, Hilda brought her squeaky toy. I think it's going to be a lot better. We powdered it like way down. So I ran it through the food processor again, and then I ran it through the spice grinder. Look how much farther it is. And then look at this one. That collapsed all the way down. Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's do it again. 2 tablespoons of the powder in, and then I forgot that I didn't add seasoning. So I add seasoning to the plain one. Do chicken stock again, and I'm going to put a little lump of butter in both. I'm going to go a little gentler on the stock. Oh, what a difference. Okay. I think we're on our way here, kids. I think we're onto something. Cover them up. Please let this be better. This has to be better this time, right? Okay. First of all, it already has like a mashed potato consistency. So we're way ahead of the game. It smells like mashed potatoes, which is great. So let's give it a go. I'm really nervous. This is mashed potatoes. You gotta powder it. You have to powder it or it's not gonna work. No, this is the one where I left the skins in. And also, same mashed potato consistency. You can tell it's a lot darker brown. This has to be better also. Yes. This is better too. It tastes like mashed potatoes. I can't decide if I like the skins in or not. I'm gonna say this is gonna be a personal preference kind of thing. I used red potatoes and the skins were a little bit heavier. So I have to imagine that if you use like a thin-skinned yellow potato instead, you might not taste the skin quite so much. So it's basically like a richer potato flavor with the skins in. It's just a richer flavor. I'm going to have to decide if I like it or not. It's definitely not bad. It will definitely fill your belly, but I think I might like them peeled better. I mean, I still have big dreams of having Potato Land to just like take off this summer if we can finally deal with the voles and the mice in the right way. So I am going to need more ways to store potatoes. And honestly, I love a convenience food. And if I can make my own convenience food for those days when you just don't want to cook and you just need something to fill the belly, this is awesome. Would I spend a whole lot of time doing it? Probably not. Like I could see myself making a jar or two jars. I could see myself making 2 jars worth, seeing how long that lasts, and then deciding differently, yay or nay, next year. I feel like we have to do better. I'm trying it one more time. I cannot close this video out without trying one more time. I think the problem in my brain was I wasn't still making the mashed potatoes the same way I would make the mashed potatoes in my own kitchen. Meaning I mix them up with a hand mixer or in the KitchenAid if I'm doing a big batch. So half dehydrated potato and half dehydrated water wasn't quite enough. It was good to start to get the powder rehydrated, but then like at home, I still add a little milk. I like to add a little sour cream, a little butter, my seasonings, what have you, and whip them all up. Now I have a feeling they're going to be really good. So they look a lot better. Let's see how they taste. Yes, this is more like it. This is way more like it. This is mashed potatoes. So there you go. You got to just make them like how you'd normally make them. Don't be afraid to add a little bit more water because we're powdering this down, right? So it's going to need a lot of hydration. What I was realizing after 2 and 3 was that the consistency after just a few minutes was just like really super dense potatoey. We can't get that like nice, light and fluffy sort of potato taste. So I came in for 4 and I decided that I thought because we powdered that potato down so much that maybe it just really needed a lot more moisture and time to reabsorb. Okay, cool. I did a half a cup of the potato powder to a cup and a half of water. I was doing a 1-to-1 ratio before. Now I'm doing 3 to 1. And it's better, but like maybe like not great. Here it is. Here is take 4. Maybe a little bit too much liquid. It's a little porridgey. Let's be real. The good thing that came out of it is it tastes less dense, but it's still like, I don't know. You think it's going to taste good. Like your taste buds at first are like, oh yeah, that's mashed potato. Kind of like with taste test too. I was like, oh yeah, that's mashed potato. Now I get it. But like, by the 3rd taste, I don't know, man. Listen, if I wasn't going to tell you the truth in these videos, what was I doing it for? This isn't like a huge win. This is not a huge win. This is something that I might keep playing with since I got more powder yet, and I might want to try to get the consistency right. But I just don't think this is worth it to me. I don't think this is a project, a storage project that is going to be worth it to me. I do wonder if the flakes that you buy at the store are easier to reconstitute because they're less dense maybe than the powder is. They're lighter, fluffier. Maybe they were freeze dried even instead of dehydrated. I don't know. This will certainly fill your belly. Certainly would fill your belly. I imagine you could probably use the powder to make potato pasta. That might be something interesting to try. I gotta tell you, the more that I try this, the more I'm changing my mind. The more I think, I don't know that this is the storage project, the preserving project for me. It's always worth an experiment because everybody's taste buds are different. You might think this is amazing. You might go, oh, hell yeah, it worked for me. Or it might be the potato. Or I didn't spread it thin enough when I was dehydrating it. All right, well, there you have it, folks. I brought you around for a video where you learned a bunch of stuff and then I'm telling you not to do it. That's not really what I mean. Do it, experiment, try something new, right? If you're not just trying new stuff in your kitchen, what are you even doing, right? Anyway, I hope you had a good chuckle out of this video. I sure did. I had lots of chuckles out of this video. And if you do end up trying it, I hope you let me know, okay? I love y'all so much.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for turning on your notifications. Thanks for being a friend. Thanks for just being a good old human. I love you so much. I'm going to talk to you real soon, okay? Bye.